Would you just like to extend your hand towards Matt? And this is a sign of blessing him. And we're just going to be praying right now, Lord, that you just come and that you would just cause such a joy for him to be here, such a joy and an ease as he shares the things that you put on his heart. And I know on Tuesday when I heard some of the sneak peek of what he's been given, that it's almost just busting out of him. And so I ask now, Lord, that you would also cause us to just feel the excitement that's your heart. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you.
Put him where the word is. Okay.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Oh, it's a good start. It just feels that 40 minutes into our gathered time together, that it's a hard act to follow. That how good was the music? It was very good. Di with announcements for the ages there. That was so impressive, especially the stuff about biscuits and what not to put in biscuits. How do I possibly follow that? Well, I'll see what I can do. We're going to start with something a little bit different this morning. We're going to start by revisiting a little bit of Harry's talk from last week. There's a particular grab of 90 seconds of Harry's talk from last week I'd like us to look at. Harry talked about following the shepherd, a take on Psalm 23. Regardless of whether you were here last week to hear that talk in person or whether you maybe watched it online or didn't watch it online, I would encourage you, everybody, during this week ahead to go and find that sermon online because it was gold. It will be a great investment of your time. So, Harry, if we could have that clip first, please.
The next one's a bit dodgy. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We're in the house of the Lord now. We will be dwelling with one another forever, and also with the other Christians and the other people we've known who've gone before us. We are family, and we are family eternally. I have a very strong conviction that you are my family. You are my brothers and my sisters, which means that I treat Christians as if they were my brothers and sisters. And there's something special in that. You know, sometimes we have sisters we don't get on. I've only got sisters, so I can only talk about sisters. Brothers, well, you might get on brothers, I don't know about brothers. But sisters, you know, sometimes you get on with them and everything's good, and sometimes it's not quite so good. And it's the same in the family of God. We will have close relationships and relationships which aren't close. But we are brothers and sisters. We are family. We are eternally linked. That's a scary thought in some ways. In other ways, it's a brilliant thought. It's a wonderful thought.
Harry said we are family. We are eternally linked. Harry, I absolutely believe that too. The thought of us all here this morning being family, it's not just a pleasing concept, it's real. We are. I have an innate belief that our lives are lived better, lived optimally, when we live our lives together, when we really do life together, loving one another, sharing the load, admonishing each other where necessary, growing together, playing together, laughing, weeping together, celebrating the triumphs, consoling one another in times of loss and pain and struggle, sharing the resources and gifts that God has blessed us with, lifting one another up in prayer, sharing food, and sometimes simply just being together. You know, one of my favourite times of the week happens on a Sunday morning between 8 and 10 a.m. There's normally a few of us here and we're setting up chairs and sound and instruments, the all-important coffee urn, of course, working out the announcements and all that jazz that goes into creating what happens from 10 o'clock of a Sunday morning. And I love that period of time so much is because the few of us who are here, there's a lot of chatting, there's a lot of getting to know one another. There's laughter and there's general jocularity. And if Steve's in the room, there's normally a bit of tomfoolery as well. And I absolutely love this. So if you're not here between 8 and 10 o'clock of a Sunday morning, you just might be missing out. I'll just park that. So at YVV, we do a lot of things together. And I decided to make a bit of a list. And a bit of a list, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? It's such an Australianism when people talk about a bit of something. You know, Pat, come round my place, we'll have a bit of a barbie. I'm not going to tell you which part of the barbie we're having. It might be a sausage, it might be a chop, but a bit of. It's not a whole barbie, not a comprehensive one, just a bit of. I always find that intriguing. So I made a bit of a list about some of the things that we do together. And it really is quite a list. Life groups. We think we've currently got 8 life groups that are happening. Breakfast club at the primary school. 3 mornings weekly. There's 7 or 8 of us who are serving the school community in a very practical manner. And as doing that, we're starting to build relationships with the students and the staff there. Late last year, we held a ping pongathon event here. A lot of fun, a lot of money raised. And because of what we did, there are now literally young people in Southeast Asia who have been brought out of slavery because of what we did that day. There's Miles. Because of Miles, we've got men's brekkies that have started to happen for the year. That's fantastic. In front of me, Rob Carter, aka Alpha Man, is leading our Alpha Charge. Lots of us are involved in this, and we're starting to see some really special things happen as a result of it. Several people here are involved one way or another in the ministry of Elisha Care. Set Free sees Harry leading this super important healing and wholeness ministry, and there's many, many folks here who are involved in this ministry alongside Harry. A couple of weeks ago, we held the inaugural lunch with Matt at a cafe in Lilydale following worship. I'm a bit embarrassed about the name, really, but I guess it does what it says on the tin. It was lunch, it was with Matt, I organised it. There were 19 of us. 19 of us out of about 80 people who gathered for worship that Sunday morning. So about a quarter of us got together. And you know, the amazing thing about that is people stayed for hours and talked and ate and drank and talked and stayed. And it was really special. And that just showed me that we do indeed want to not just do things together, but be together. I love that. People amongst us are visiting an aged care facility and a rooming house in Lilydale. That's fantastic. We've heard today about the biscuit bake and what an important ministry Prison Fellowship Australia is, and that we're able to support them in this small way. I think that's wonderful. Thinking back just before Christmas, we did the Christmas pantry food collection, and we understand what a blessing that was to families from the primary school. Last September, I think, we hosted a national Vineyard conference right here, and there was lots of people from us who took part in make that such a big success. As Di said in an announcement, some of the guys are going away in 2 weeks' time on a 4-wheel driving weekend. I appreciate that this is a bit of a list, not comprehensive, and there are surely many, many, many other ways in which the people of YVV are involved in serving our local, national and global communities. It's really exciting. And I think we come back to that line again from Harry's talk last week. We are family. We are eternally linked. So clearly there are a lot of things we do as the church family here, be it small group or an activity like Breakfast Club, where there's a few of us involved, and that's great. Different people have different interests and different time availabilities, and indeed are called to serve in different ways. But I'm guessing that in some way, each and every person here is involved in something that is a part of our life together, and a very rich and a very varied tapestry it is. It's wonderful. Now I'm keen for us to start looking at a project that we can all do together, all be involved in. So if I could have that first "This Is Us" slide, that would be great. So I mentioned 4 weeks ago when I was up here, I mentioned the idea of creating a book about us called "This Is Us." The thinking about the book idea has changed a little bit in recent weeks. And the final document, This Is Us, is going to be a PDF that will be accessible via our website and that we will be able to update regularly as new people join us. And creating a document of this nature is also a whole lot more cost-effective than creating a book. I see the completed This Is Us document as a tool that will assist us in getting to know one another a little bit deeper, and a key tool for newcomers to the YVV family to find points of connection with people. Okay, where's Denise? Oh, Denise, can you stand up, please? Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, that's so good. Come on. And just stay standing, Denise, that'd be great. We won't applaud the whole time. Okay. Now, at great risk of embarrassing you here, Denise, you can sit down now, that's okay. At great risk of embarrassing you here, if you have not as yet had the pleasure of meeting Denise or getting to know her, you're missing out. Denise is a wonderful person. She adores Jesus. She has such a big heart for the marginalised and possesses this quiet and beautiful wisdom. So, YVV, please take this as your formal encouragement to get to know Denise a little bit. And just now thinking, why did I say that about Denise? And it's because of this. Earlier this week, I was grooving on what I was going to talk about today. And I'm playing around with an idea about doing something with well-known quotes. Quotes from movies and quotes from books and quotes from the Bible. And I was very much hoping that I was going to be able to get my all-time most favourite quote in of the late, great American actor John Wayne, who said, "Life is tough, and it's even tougher if you're stupid." Now, I'll just let the magnitude of Mr. Wayne's words just sit with us for a moment. I mean, it's so true, isn't it, Rick? Is it true? Of course it's true. Oh, it's not you, no. John Wayne, I mean, he was just a walking quote. I mean, who else? I mean, I'm trying to think of a situation where I could say to Rob Carter, "Rob, get off your horse and drink your milk." I just can't make that work anyway. So anyway, it wasn't going well trying to work out how I could incorporate quotes into this talk. And I just gave up on the idea when on Wednesday night at Alpha, Denise said something quite brilliant. Let's go, Harry. If you want to get to know someone, talk to them. It's the same when relating to God. If you want to get to know someone, talk to them. Come on, Denise. I mean, my work here is done. So this morning I want to introduce us all to the idea of how This Is Us will work in practice. Over the last few weeks, Karen, Cherie, Di, myself have come up with a series of incredibly well-curated questions that we would like each person who is a part of the YVV family here to answer. In a few minutes, you will all have the opportunity of playing with these questions just a little bit. But first of all, I want to give you a live example of the nature of these questions and ideas as to what a finished page or two in the document will look like. So now it gives me great pleasure to invite Cherie to join me for a short interview. But as you can see, Cherie isn't here, Cherie is at home and Cherie is sick. But as Simon is married to Cherie and they are one, Simon is going to fill in for Cherie. So welcome, Simon.
As best I can, I'll fill in for my lovely wife. Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic.
No, I can't. No.
All right, so Simon answering on behalf of Cherie, okay?
Sure.
Short, sharp questions. So where was Cherie born, Simon?
Box Hill Hospital. Probably some of you were born there too, I guess.
Okay, give me you can enjoy this part, mate. Give me a fun fact about Cherie.
So Cherie, unlike myself, who's a Kiwi, Cherie can laugh like a kookaburra and sound like a real kookaburra.
What a gift.
Yeah. So
It's unbelievable. Next time you see Cherie, you know the first thing you're asking her for.
Yeah.
Cherie's top 3 interests or hobbies?
Reading. She's an avid reader and can devour up to 3 books a week. She loves books about God, mysteries, and historical fiction. And she's a published author too, who loves to write. And she shares her writing with people all around the world through online and written media. And she also she's very crafty. She loves quilting and scrapbooking. So, so she's all round wonderful.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Glowing endorsement.
Yeah.
This is good. Off the top of your head, Simon, do you happen to know Cherie's favourite Bible verse?
Well, it's written down here, so that's a bit of a... Psalm 62.
Yeah.
So that's her favourite Bible verse. Yeah.
And in 2 or 3 sentences, if possible, can you talk to us about how Cherie came to faith?
Sure. So she was born in a Christian family and attended church regularly from a young age. But at the age of 12, she decided to follow Jesus. And that was a life-changing decision for her. And her relationship with God has grown over time with many ups and downs, like we always do, like many of us. And God has always proven to be faithful.
Now, I know that Cherie has been part of YVV for a very long time, but tell us of an experience that Cherie has particularly enjoyed here at YVV.
Yeah, so she's been with YVV since 1998, and she's loved being part of the community, but in particular being part of the worship team, where she values that really intimate space between her and God, where he speaks directly to his heart and draws her near.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know Cherie's favourite Bible character?
Yeah, her favourite Bible character is Ruth, who is a woman of great character. Ruth is known for her faithfulness, loyalty, virtue, and love. And she admires Ruth for her great love for God and her abiding faith in him and his plan. Ruth is also a part of Jesus' ancestral line.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what is Cherie looking forward to more of in 2024, please?
She set the goal of reading the chronological Bible in 1 year and discovering so much more hope in the Word.
Fantastic. Now, that's the questions. Now, I would like to say that Harry has been thundering away on the keyboard there, putting this document together. And he may or may not have been, but if it have the Cherie slide. Great work, Harry. And this is something like what 1 page from the book will look like. So I hope you can see that it's largely non-threatening, quite an easy process, and I'll talk through with you in a few minutes about how we go about this. Okay, let's do another interview.
Cool. So it's my turn now to interview Matt. So where were you born, Matt?
Born in Newmarket, which is the home of horse racing, near Cambridge in the east of England.
Awesome. And what's a fun fact about you that many people may not know?
Fun fact is that this big, bold, beautiful red fish on my arm is called George.
Fantastic. Everyone meet George. What are your top 3 interests or hobbies?
Yeah, top of the list, Boston Red Sox baseball. I love the Red Sox. Closely followed by the music of English progressive rock behemoths, Iron Maiden. And I also love reading, especially autobiographies and books about baseball and cricket.
Awesome. Did you want to sing one of Iron Maiden's songs this morning? Or
maybe come and see me at the end.
Okay, all right, sure. Okay. What's your favourite Bible verse?
Daniel 3:25.
Cool. And you've got a picture you wanted to share about that, didn't you?
Oh, a little bit, and it's kind of apt for a day like today.
Yeah.
As the fellas are being not so gently cooked, but absolutely cooked, and the king looks in and he sees them dancing, and he doesn't see 3 of them, the 3 that he put in there. He sees 4.
Cool.
And I just love that image for all of our lives about God being with us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And some of us will be dancing in the heat this afternoon.
Yeah.
So Matt, how did you come to faith?
Born and raised in England, travelled to Australia when I was 20 years old in 1989 on a working holiday visa. And over many, many months of varied experiences, some joyful, some revelatory, some frightening, I realised that Jesus was whom I needed to bow my knee to and acknowledge as Lord and Saviour. It took a long time.
Brilliant. So good. Come on, Aussie. Come on. Come on.
Kinda.
What's one experience that you have enjoyed while being at YVV?
Loads and loads of experiences, but the name issue aside, the lunch with Matt a couple of weeks ago, that was a really joyful experience, a great expression of community. I loved it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, he's a good guy, Matt, I reckon.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with it.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to more in 2024?
Everything, but specifically understanding the direction that Father has for me as I walk through some complex challenges in my life at this time.
Awesome. Fantastic. And then finally, what is your favourite Bible character?
Yeah, I talked about it a few weeks ago from the front here. Simeon, just his waiting, his thought process, just wow, so many questions to ask him.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's it.
Wow, cool, thank you.
Thank you. So again, Harry's been thundering away on the keyboard there. And it might look like this. So we're good, Simon. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Simon, Cherie, thank you very much. Now, in a moment, we're going to put up those 8 or 9 questions on the screen for you to ponder. And what I'm going to ask everybody in the room to do is to find somebody that you can spend a few minutes chatting to and asking those questions to. Now, if you're here this morning with your spouse or somebody who lives under the same roof as you, please do not talk to them. Rather, try and be brave and find someone that you might never have spoken to before, or perhaps that you do not know super well. It's at this moment that the extroverts in the room are like, yeah, great, I'm going to bowl up to someone and start talking. And the introverts in the room are thinking, Matt, I hate you. This is the worst thing. But I'm just going to ask you to be as bold as you can be. You don't need to write anything down, but there is a possibility that at the end of this time together, that I might look for a few volunteers to share a little bit of information about 1 or 2 other people. So please, nothing incriminating. If you happen to be a visitor with us here this morning, great. You are very welcome. It's lovely to have you with us. What do I want you to do as a part of this? I want you to join in. We want to get to know you. You can get to know 1 or 2 of us a little bit more. Just have some fun with this. Have some fun with us. If you're watching the live stream, I'm going to address you guys in just a minute. Di and Rob, if you can both stand up, please. If you happen to not know who Di and Rob are, this morning Di and Rob are the This Is Us helpers. If anybody is struggling to find someone to talk with, these guys will assist you and will help to put people together. I hope I've included everyone here, because in true Vineyard tradition, everyone gets to play. So, please, find someone to talk to, go and play for a few minutes. 10 minutes. Ben, questions on the screen? Yeah.